see the deeper future that ever matched the artwork in my life. Cause I doubted the process, I thought it was over. Maybe this is my sign. Puzzle's almost finished, puzzle's almost finished. I got a few more pieces to find. This is one of the pieces of his masterpieces. Cause my dreams push me closer than I wanted to go.
Hello everyone and welcome to Soul Reconnection. My name is Maitreya and I am your trusted astrologer to make sure you got the tea on how to get through all these energies, all these transits. If you don't understand what they mean, I'm here to help break them down for you. So what am I going to be talking to you about today? So I'm going to be talking all about Uranus Retrograde. Now this retrograde is going to be extremely intense. This is about to change our whole reality, and reality has already changed. So if you haven't got the memo, you definitely need to get that right now. So what is Uranus retrograde? So Uranus starts retrograde today as I'm filming this, which is August the 11th 2019, and it's gone retrograde at 6 degrees in Taurus, and it ends its retrograde on January the 10th 2020. Now this is just before that massive Saturn and Pluto conjunction that hits on the 20th. So this is just going to be like, wow, like Uranus going direct just before that conjunction is just, it's going to be extremely explosive. So definitely pay attention to things that may be going on around that time. So this is going to be a very erratic energy. This is going to be reality as you know it is completely changed, and I don't know, we have to be paying attention, and especially being a business owner, I'm seeing that more so now, especially as I'm starting to look into social media and I'm having to look a bit more deeper into things behind the scenes and stuff like that, and having to look into trends, and it's very, very interesting to see what's happening. And there's something that's been coming up that I've been intuitively receiving, and it's about social media and Google, the connections with Google. Now, if you do research this, Project Veritas, I don't want to get too much into, it's not really a conspiracy, because this is, it's now government documents now. So, Project Veritas, and its exposure on Google and its privacy laws, and Google's basically acting very pompous, almost like Trump right now. Like, I don't care, like I know I'm doing what I'm doing, but like I'm still gonna do it anyway. Like, no one can stop me. Like, who's gonna check me, boo? That's what Google's like right now. But I really do sense a demise coming with Google. But the reason why that's important is because Google is connected to Facebook, to Instagram, to WhatsApp, what else is it, YouTube. So I really feel we need to pay attention, because these networks of social media, they've played a very massive role in terms of the influence of humanity, and everyone's on social media, and everyone's got multiple social media accounts. If you've at least probably got Facebook and Instagram, if you haven't got the rest. So I think this is really important, because I really feel that these are what we're all standing on right now. These are the main hitters of social media, but I really feel like these are about to go down, especially with the exposure that's happening with Google. So I feel like there's a lot of new platforms and new things that are gonna begin to come out that is going to be our new reality, because Facebook has become the new reality. Even YouTube, you don't even need a TV no more. I don't watch TV, I watch YouTube. And then, you know, I use my sister's account for Netflix. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you don't really need a TV anymore. Like, reality has changed. I'm reading a book, and this book is actually like a hard hitter, but I give this gem to specific people. So don't ask me the name of the book unless like I really connect with you like that. But it's a really powerful book that goes into social media and like building your business online and stuff like that. But it goes into the different types. I mean, the transition of how media has changed. So things has changed from, you know, getting things through your letterbox to getting Facebook ads, or getting Instagram ads, or getting YouTube ads, or, you know, a blog has now a newspaper. We don't buy newspapers anymore. We read blogs, and anyone can be a blogger. And it's like, what else is there? There's so many different transitions that has taken place. Like, first you had telephone, people were calling you up, and then now you've got email. Like, there's a lot more push on like email marketing, but this is a transition that's happened over time. And I think, especially as millennials, we're very privileged to have been in a place where we can see this transition taking place, from you know, like, I remember dial-up broadband when it had that weird little noise, and then your mum used to cuss you off because the the landline would be on the same line as the internet, so you couldn't use the internet and the phone at the same time. So, you know, I remember those days. And then now we have wireless internet, fiber optic, 5G. You know, this has been a crazy development of the last 20 years, you know, like, and that's been that's an influence of us now moving into the age of Aquarius, and Uranus rules Aquarius. So this is what this retrograde is going to be bringing on a collective scale, on a personal scale. It's going to be bringing up a lot of change. It's going to be allowing you to come into a place where you can express yourself more freely. It may sound like you're a bit rebellious, because that's what Uranus is. It is rebellion. It is revolution. It is disruption. Let's be real about that. So we can definitely pay attention to what's happening globally in the world, and just pay attention to the news. And, you know, something is brewing. And there's something I want to share, because the last few days I've been feeling a very intense energy. And for those that are on the Intuitive Chakra Healing course, we're currently working on our root chakra right now. And the root chakra is our senses, is our connection to the earth. And when you're working with your root chakra, you can become very extremely sensitive to earth and its changes. And I became, it was very intense. I literally felt the earth wobbling out of control. I started to feel dizzy. And I the day that, I can't remember what day it was, but there was an earthquake in the UK, in Cornwall. And before that earthquake came, the day before, I started feeling earthquakes, and I was like, something's moving, something's shaking, I need to pay attention. Then the earthquake came, and I was like, whoa, okay, definitely need to pay attention now. And then the next night I went to sleep, and that's when I started feeling the earth shaking and wobbling. And there is actually a scripture, let me go and find it, and I'll insert it in here. So there's a scripture, there's a verse in the Bible that just came back to me, because when I was looking into the pole shifts, and this is when I was still a Christian, Well, I was looking into the pole shifts, and I've always been into astronomy, into, you know, the planets from a young girl, and I've always, especially when I notice this any mentions of the planets or anything in the Bible, I always paid attention, not realizing why, because the Bible actually says pay attention to the signs and signals, but nobody wants to pay attention to that verse. But they want to demonize astrology and say that it's demonic. But anyway, you don't read your Bible, it will bless you sometimes. Let me stop the shade. This is Leo season. I told you, let me be shady this season, okay? I'll clean up in Virgo season. So so this is Isaiah 24 verse 20, and I'm going to read the New Living Translation. No, I'm going to read the New International Version. It says, the earth rules like a drunkard, and it sways like a hut in the wind. So heavy upon it is the guilt of rebellion that it falls never to rise again. I'm going to read that again. The earth staggers like a drunk. It trembles. Sorry, this is another version. The earth staggers like a drunk. It trembles like a tent in a storm. It falls and will not rise again, for the guilt of its rebellion is very heavy. Now, that came back to me because it's very in line with what is happening, and even this Uranus retrograde, because there's a spirit of rebellion that is rising up, and the earth is in line with this. Gaia, Mother Earth, she is in line with this change, because it's almost like she's been kept under this trap. She's been kept under this spell for so long, and now it's like she's ready to wipe out, to almost do a Hulk and just break out the chains, because she had no control over what's been created on this. Like we have completely destroyed this planet, you know, and now she's like, no, I'm coming back to take back what's mine. Like, you ain't gonna just come and just mess things up and just allow this to just, you know, keep playing out. No, let me regain back control. And this Uranus retrograde is what is triggering that in itself. Uranus is the child of Gaia. So this connection in itself is almost like remembering who you are, remembering what you came here to do, remembering that actually I don't operate in boundaries, I don't operate in restrictions. Like all of the debauchery that's been going on within the government, within, you know, collectively, like this is like, nah, it's time to flip it on its head. And Uranus, the last time Uranus was in retrograde was, so the last time Uranus was in Taurus was in 1934 to 1941, and this was the time of the Great Depression, which was it's important to mention that, because this was triggered by the Wall Street crash in 1929. Okay, and this was an event that happened when Uranus was in Aries. So we were also on the brink of World War II, a time of great upheaval, wherein, among other things, the dominant cultures. We were also on the brink of World War II, a time of great upheaval, and this is a time where the dominant culture's relationship to money changed drastically. Okay? Whew. There was a lot that was happening around that time. And so if we think about that and think about what's happening right now, what's happening with Trump, what's happening with, you know, all of these countries in terms of war, threats of wars and stuff like that. Yeah, it very much might pop off. Okay, so this is when we definitely need to pay attention. And one of the messages that I got was that it's important to stay grounded. It's important to stay alert. There's something that's coming that's big, and it's going to affect us all in a massive way. And this is not to fear monger. This is just to bring you in a place where you can just pay attention and be in your body. This is not a time when we need to be floating around in the astrals. This is a time where we need to be fully embodied within our body, because we need to be alert. And that's the message that's been coming really strong to me. So the desires connected to Uranus is the urge for originality and being able to gain independence from old traditions. So you may, on a more personal level, there may be some of you that may be come up in religious families, and you're no longer religious. You no longer identify with what you with the traditions that you were exposed to, and so now you want to flee. And so you may find that you may go through a period of being ostracized by your community that you've aligned with. So this can be very intense, and I can definitely, do you know what? It's crazy, because when I went on my journey, like my journey, my transition out of religion was very, very intense for me. But I knew that my journey wasn't just for me. One of the things that I was told before I left my old church was that I'm supposed to be a forerunner. I'm someone who goes ahead to come back and, relate to people and be like, I'm the person that goes ahead and be like, guys, I've been through this. This is okay. This is how you can get through this more effectively. This is my mistakes that I've used, that I encountered in this journey. You don't have to go through that cycle, but this is probably the most effective way for you to be able to do that. Like, I know that was my call. Like, I know that's why I came here. I know that me personally, I've been through this ascension cycle in many lifetimes before. And so this is why it's easy for me to awaken to my truth. It might not be this easy for someone to awaken to their truth, but I believe that this is something that I've done many times. So this lifetime, it almost becomes instinctual for me to be able to align to this path very quickly. My transitions are always very quick and very accelerated, and it's almost like I just need to see something, and then I'm like, okay, I'm aligned. And that's still a process of alignment that has to take a journey, but you know what I mean. So so I know that is my purpose here, and I know that my the people I'm here specifically for is those that are going through that transition, or that have been through that transition from religion, because there's a lot of filtering that has to take place in that, and it's not easy going through that journey. It's very very isolating. You being ostracized from everything that you've ever known. I've grown up in church my whole life. My family is very respected within the church. I was becoming a gospel artist. I didn't want to call myself a gospel artist when I was going through that, but it's interesting in hindsight now that I've transitioned why I did choose to do that. But it's that was the path I was going down. So it is very intense for you to be able to go through very massive life events like that. It can be very traumatic. So I know that that's my call, and so if that's you, definitely connect. I've got my group, the Inner Rounds, on Facebook, and I've used that as a support group, and yeah, just come and join our community. So back to Uranus retrograde. So the needs that are represented by Uranus is the need for change and excitement. So you're going to feel a bit erratic. Uranus craves excitement. Like it craves you know, just change. It just needs to change things up. It's like, nah, man, you lot are too rigid. It doesn't deal with rigidity. So with this Saturn retrograde, and especially with Uranus coming in, it's going to be a clash of energies, because it's like structures and free spirits like trying to clash, and it's like, whoa, it's intense. That's why I'm saying that it's definitely, you're going to see it play out on a global scale. So the Uranus archetype, it represents our individuality, it represents our desire for freedom. It doesn't deal with like Uranus, Aquariuses, they are extremely free spirited, they are extremely independent, they're extremely they can be very unique in their characters, in their personalities, in their ideas, in their thought forms, in their expression of self. So this is what this energy is going to bring, and I feel like this is necessary because it's bringing an energy of innovation, where you can make yourself identify what makes you unique and what sets you apart from the masses. And why this is important is because if you've listened to my Jupiter retrograde video, my Saturn retrograde video, and all of the videos post on past on my channel, it's all about setting yourself up and being able to understand your and learn to reinvent yourself. And this is all for this Uranus. When Uranus goes direct, like that's when it's going to be needed the most. And the reason why it's necessary is because if you don't understand what makes you unique, you're going to get lost in the source. And this is why I feel like with those that have got businesses, and those that are artists, those that are creatives, those that are entrepreneurs, you're really going to have to define what makes you unique. You're really going to have to define your brand, because if you don't have something that is unique and that is innovative and that is futuristic, that is not just got 2019, 2020 in mind, but got 2030 in mind, but got 2040 in mind, this is where we have to go ahead. Uranus is that time traveler. It is that ability to go ahead and see ahead, perceive ahead, and make things relevant for now. And this is why I do believe that this is definitely the time where we're going to see a lot more social networks coming in. So it is the principle of change, sudden awakenings, geniuses, like this almost like you're gonna just feel like a genius, like oh my gosh, like how did I create that? Like how did I invent this idea? Like this is so profound. Like that's the type of energy that's coming in, like technological advances. You're gonna see a lot more AI stuff come in. I'm sure they're trying to bring in this thing where they've got, I feel like this is, I think this is why they started to bring in 5G, because they want to put like your phone in your eye, so you don't even have to like look at your phone. Please don't do that. It's really not that deep. Like even a watch, like why have you got an Apple Watch? Like put your phone down. Like why have you got yourself attached to your phone all the time? Behave yourself. Yeah, so that's what's going to be coming with that. So we're going to see a lot of technological advances, like the energy of that. This is like, if you think back to 1999 going into 2000, that was a shift, that was a quantum leap. Same with 1989 into 1990, that was a quantum leap, and I was born in that quantum leap. So this is why I'm like so pumped for this energy. I feel like I was created with that energy of change, and just, you know, I feel like that's why I can just I can just get through transitions easily because I'm not boxed. I'm not held to specific you know, places and ideas and concepts. Doesn't work for me. So Uranus, what does Uranus retrograde bring? So Uranus operates at the higher octaves of Mercury, so it stimulates your mind for higher awareness, and it connects you to the collective consciousness. So this is going to be very crown chakra activated, and this is why I'm doing the Intuitive Chakra Healing course, so that we can, what I'm going to do, because I'm actually doing the course with everyone at the same time, from root to crown. But I'm also, after I get to the crown, I'm going to go from crown to root, because I feel like oftentimes we can, you know, go through the chakra balance, we usually go from down upwards, and we're always trying to ascend. But again, what I was saying about embodiment, the goal is not to separate from your body. The goal is to be integrated in your body. So I'm actually going to go all the way from my crown back down to my root, so I can embody all of the energy that I've charged up through my chakras going up, and embody that consciousness, embed it into my soul, into my being. So I feel like that would be a more powerful way to do that. So you may feel on a more personal level, like in your close relationships and within your community, you'll feel more connected within them. Like you'll feel more like you can connect to your soul tribe, like your the people that really understand you, the people that, you know, nerd groups. Like I'm becoming a bit of a nerd. Like, to be honest, I've always been a nerd, but I'm becoming a different type of nerd. So now I need to find my new nerd community. Like, where's my nerd tribe? Like, where's my tribe that is about SEO and about marketing and about finances and about, like, this is something I've never really done myself, but I'm finding such a fascination for this. But I need to find my tribe. So, you know, Uranus retrograde may just bring us all together and just enhance that connection between each other. So, you know, it's gonna be good, because you're not gonna feel alone anymore. So you may feel the pressure to break out the norm and not conform to the status quo. You might feel, do you know what? Like, I'm going to express more of my sexuality. And I feel like that's something that I'm doing now. Even just wearing this black, this sultry black, my little metal eyes and stuff like that. There's a transition that's happening with me that is beautiful, because it's allowing myself to embrace myself, because Christianity took a lot of that away from me. So I feel like I'm able to I'm learning how to express that in ways that feel more authentic to myself. So you might just feel you know, and it's going to be extremely intense now, because with this whole censorship with Google and Facebook and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, it's just going to get real hectic. So because of the planetary aspects involved, the change in this particular retrograde is likely to be more positive on a personal level, and it may involve your love life and your finances, because that's what Taurus is connected to. Taurus is connected to Venus. So this is Uranus having a conversation with Venus, and it's like, come on, Venus, let's create something of value. Let's create some relationships that bring value and fuel each other, and, you know, let's create new ways of creating financial stability and creating financial abundance. So the asteroid Aphrodite is exactly conjunct Uranus retrograde. So that's another sign, really good sign for those that are seeking to connect with their other half, with their twin flame, with their soulmates. and those that are seeking new relationships, seeking new, not just personal relations, not just loving relationships, personal relationships, partnerships, business partnerships. This is going to be amazing. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. It may seem a bit harder to restrain the erratic and impulsive urges of Uranus. Uranus is really intense. So with those that have Uranus retrograde natal in their chart, that in itself can indicate ADHD or ADD, I think that's the other one. But that type of impulsive, erratic behavior, you're just going to feel like, I need to do something. Like, I need to do something. I need some excitement. You need a thrill. You need some kind of, shake up. So it can internalize the disruptive electric energy of Uranus, and this can lead to more anxiety, nervousness, spasms, neurotic behaviors, and rapid personality changes. So it can be a lot of switching. Again, it operates on a higher octaves of Mercury. If you think of Gemini, like that switching of personalities. But what it is we're being able to embrace our multi-dimensional collective experience, and we're able to express it, and if you've caught back my mental health versus spiritual awakening video and you heard me speaking about schizophrenia, it's just us. Yeah, we have different archetypes within ourselves. We're a whole zodiac, so we can literally be acting out different parts of the zodiac all the time, not just your sun sign. So so it's catch back that video and then you can understand what I'm saying if you're a little bit confused by that. But you may be, as I said, you may be forced to separate from communities and traditions of the family with fear of excommunication, and I've been seeing that a lot happening more so recently. You may feel like you need to detach from society. You may feel like you need to detach from social media altogether. And this is where you begin to discover the awareness of your subconscious mind. So anyone who's got 12th house Uranus, you're gonna be really aware of your unconscious reality, and really begin to unravel a lot of your unconscious experiences, and begin to become aware of why you're here, like what are all the influences that have led you here. So just to be mindful, you may be more conscious of your imperfections, but then you'll begin to see the uniqueness in it. And I guess I feel like that's an energy I'm learning to come into, because I've also had insecurity issues, and I'm learning how to just embrace it. Like even just me doing my YouTube channel, I say it all the time, this is me just stepping out. Like I actually have problems and I struggle with communication and I struggle with expressing myself. But me putting myself in this platform is just forcing myself to just do it. And then just being able to see my own uniqueness and be able to be like, okay, yeah, that's a flaw, but you know what? It's all good. It makes me me. So, so in a bit of mythology, the monsters that were created in Gaia's womb in Mother Earth were rejected because of their ugly appearance. So the meaning of that is that the past becomes ugly and undeveloped and stupid. Like we begin to see the undeveloped aspects of our own and other people's natures. And this is what I was talking about with regards to the shadows in my last video, and us being able to, this is, if anyone's seen the movie Us, this is it. This is when we're literally going to be faced with the darkest parts of ourselves, the most ugliest parts of ourselves, and just be like, oh, I just didn't understand. You know, like you have to, the purpose is not to untether yourself from your shadow. The purpose is to learn how to work with your shadow. It's not about disidentifying with your own monsters and your inner demons and your own shadows and your own instinctual nature, because that's what it is. It is a part of you. You aren't just full of light, you know. You are light and dark, yin and yang. So if you do this, if you don't learn to harness this energy, you can end up going through a very extreme mental breakdown, maybe even psychosis and schizophrenia on those types of levels. So it's important that you learn how to not disidentify with your own shadows that may be mirroring itself at you and presenting itself to you. So if anyone's seen Stranger Things, this is what is this whole thing is relating to like the upside down. This is like the upside down becoming the reality. If you think about it, our eyes, they say we receive images upside down. So we naturally everything's upside down, but our eyes have to flip it the other way around, so we see right side up. But really, the upside down is right side up, and we're having to adjust our perception to that. And I feel like that is a perfect depiction of what Uranus retrograde is. It's us having to align ourselves to the reality that the upside down is really the right side up. See if you can actually get that one. That might flow over a few people's heads. So Uranus will come after the tight wound aspects of ourselves. Like it will come after the parts of us that are organized around a particular ideal. And Neptune retrograde, this is why Neptune retrograde was happening, learning to rip off or allow ourselves to become real with our ideals and remove the illusions. So Uranus retrograde, you can definitely bet your bottom dollar. This is going to be an electric party. It's like, we gonna rock all through Electric Avenue, and then we take it higher. That's what Uranus retrograde is gonna be. It's gonna be intense. So on a personal level, this can be very, very positive. It can be a lot of changes, a lot of manifestations, a lot of connections that can be made. On a collective level, this is breakdown and rebuild. Things are never ever going to be the same again, and we should celebrate it, because you know, change is always good. It may not feel good to begin with. Like the global collapse is going to happen in America. It's going to happen, and it needs to happen, because there needs to be a whole new reality that needs to be created, that we need to take control of. So I'm hoping that this video resonates with you. Comment down below if it does. Let me know. Like, this is not going to hit you. You're not going to feel it initially. As it comes in, you'll definitely start to feel the energy. So, but let me know how you're feeling. And if you need any natal chart readings, any synastry readings for you to be able to understand your connections with other people, whether it be your child, your partner, partnerships, whatever, friends, understanding self. I really work in the realms of self-discovery, really being able to understand the depth of self in all of its ways. I also have the Intuitive Chakra Healing course that is out now. You can purchase that at 50% off at the moment, and you can go to my site again for the readings and for the course. Go to www.soul-reconnection.com, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
You're my dreams.